This is John Carden for Primal Performance Coaching, and today we're going to talk about protein. So this is going to be a weekly nutrition segment. So protein. What is protein? Well, protein is basically a combination of a bunch of different amino acids. Now, why do we need protein? So protein predominantly is for tissue repair, so muscle building, other processes of the body, but mainly repair. Now protein, people don't realize that protein is not necessarily that much of an energy source. It's really not utilized that much as an energy source. It actually probably, calorie wise, it's counted as 4 calories per gram, but I would say it's probably more like 3 or 2, depending on how much protein you're consuming. So in protein, when you're calculating macros and stuff, you can use what's called protein leveraging. We'll get into that a little bit more detail after. But now, how much protein is enough? It depends on who you talk to, right? And everyone gets so many different crazy stories about protein. Oh, if you have too much protein, your kidneys are going to fail and all that stuff. Or liver failure, toxicity, all that stuff. That's not proven. And some of the heart disease, all that stuff associated with that is also like, depends on what type of proteins you're eating. Everyone says, oh, red meat is bad, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you're eating McDonald's hamburgers or shitty-ass processed ground beef, like 80-20 ground beef, it's not grass-fed, it's regular farmed beef, and it's, you know, it's high-fat beef, yeah, you're gonna feel like shit. Or you're having filler, fake meat type deals, so like your beef burger patties you buy at the grocery store, the frozen ones that are loaded with fillers and shit, those ones. So focus on eating like meat, not processed meat. So like real meat, not sandwich meat, not meat alternatives. Focus on having a fair bit of meat. Vegan diet, I don't necessarily think it's the best idea. I do understand why some people do it. Some people actually necessarily need to do it, but I think the whole necessitate is having something that's a balance. So I don't believe in also doing like completely only meat. I think you need a balance of whole food. And protein is a big staple in that, especially if you're trying to be lean. Because what does protein do? It makes you feel fuller. It grows muscle, which is what you're trying to do. It helps rebuild your body composition. Now, how much? Now, at the minimum, you probably need about 0.5 gram per pound of body weight at the absolute minimum. And I think that's almost too low. But I'm looking at absolute minimums of like functionality of your body. So probably half a gram per pound. And then the other thing that you're going to be looking at is also how much on the top end. So 1.2 to 1.5 would be the top end per pound, not per kilogram, per pound. And I've seen studies that show quite a lot of benefit actually at the 1.2. 1.5, the diminishing returns, also you gotta kick into account like quality protein costs you a lot of money. So 1.5 seems to be the kind of upper limit of like results versus costs and like how much protein you need to eat. As far as muscle gain, lean body composition, 1.2 seems very optimal. 1.1 is pretty much the gold standard of what I tell people to do because it's not unreasonable. It's easy. If you weigh 200 pounds, you eat 200 grams of protein. It's very simple. 1.2 is probably where people should be if they're a strength athlete, power lifter, especially bodybuilder, and you're trying to composition your body. And then the other thing is this also allows you to stay satiated, stay full, allows you to recover a little bit better, which is something that is very necessary, right, in terms of every performance. So you want to have that 1.5 to 1 grams per pound. Now, let's talk about protein leveraging now. So protein leveraging is when you have excess protein, and because protein is not always used as an energy source and it's not necessarily stored as fat, you can leverage that into being able to eat a little bit more without inserting more calories, and it's also going to allow you to stay more full. So you can focus on a more protein filled diet. Instead of having 2,000 calories, you could probably get away with 2,300, 2,400. You're going to feel much more full and satiated, and you get just as good results. You'll probably train better too, and you recover better. So when you keep that in mind, like if you're looking to even improve your body composition, or even just like stay healthy and stay like a little bit leaner, or just not get fat, focus on protein leveraging. Focus on high quality, high level proteins, and then fill your meals in with everything else. So protein is definitely, I feel, the key, and I think it's a very important thing, but it's not the be all end all. You don't have to have protein at every meal, but if you calculate how much protein you're having and you kind of know how much you need, making sure you get that amount in every day, and especially if you're trying to improve your body composition, using protein leveraging and protein leveraging in that way was going to help tremendously. So that's my little talk on protein and how protein can help you improve your body composition, and kind of my thoughts on eating a higher protein diet versus eating a low protein diet versus not eating an animal protein diet. Now, if you're eating a non-animal protein diet, I think that there's you're going to have to really work very hard. Vegetarian, I think, is a little bit better because it provides you with some cheese, some meat, some eggs. I think even fish, if you want to go lacto-ovo, I think it's called. Milk as well. If you go vegan, I think you're going to have some issues. I think it depends on the person, it depends on why you have to go vegan. But I'd say for most people, and this is probably pissing people off, I recommend having a moderated diet that has meat protein in it, always. I don't recommend or even program for vegetarian vegan diets. If I have clients that want to do that, I usually will advise them to speak someone else out and working with that. But I will not say no, but I'm also going to look at your body and see what you actually function with. So I've had clients do that, and then they actually reversed a lot of their weight loss, and then we've had to revert them back to, let's eat a little bit more protein then. Even like not the same amount they were before, but at least balancing it. And you can do that with a vegetarian diet. I think there's some benefits to it. I think the vegetables, and I'm going to talk about that, is like importance of vegetables, importance of micro and macronutrients in terms of that. And I think there's a lot of good that eating vegetables will do. So I think a lot of people could benefit from having more vegetables. But I also think that if you're vegetarian or vegan, you're going to benefit greatly from having some protein, having some meat protein. It's a lot better for the body, it's a lot better for reconstruction, regrowth. There's a lot of different sciences behind that, but I'm not going to get into that. But generally speaking, I think people would be a lot better off just having a balanced, whole food, holistic diet that balances vegetables, carbs, fats, and proteins. So that's it. I hope this helps people that are trying to get a little bit better with their nutrition. Until next time, give us a follow. Oh, and if you're looking for a workout program to get started, I actually am offering a 4-week free program. It's linked in my bio, it's on my website, so check that out.